Floaty Goaty Lore, Volume 3, Chapter 19, The Ancient Secrets of Kevin. Silence, everlasting nothingness. That's how the universe holding Goofy our planet came to be. The dawn of time began when a Big Bang-like explosion filled the gap in the multiverse. The new universe held great potential, as a planet with sustainable life was born instantly. Goofy our planet. There were creatures spawned, however the only ones were 11 goats, 9 Rias, 8 hash browns, 6 prairie dogs, and 10 humans. Although humans eventually almost went extinct on Goofy our planet, aside from Tyson, Uncle Ben, Jodiel, Fuzzy, PJ Man, and Rim, all of these species stayed prominent on the planet for quite some time. Evolution did its thing, and now we have all the animals we have today. 4 of the 11 goats were Floaty Goaty, Floaty Goaty, the Ram King, and Jimmu Bestat. Although Floaty Goaty was too young to even speak, let alone move around, the eldest of the 9 original Rias was Kevin. Kevin was a brave, strong warrior who never let anything stop him. He fought many battles against the evil forces of Donald Trump, the only dark energy in the creation of the universe. Donald Trump was not even supposed to exist, let alone become as powerful as he is today. Early on in the lifespan of the universe, Donald Trump discovered the power of creation. He made evil creatures to fight against Goofy, our planet. But Kevin and Floaty Goaty fought them off every time. Floaty Goaty watched all of these battles. He looked up to Kevin and his father, which is probably why he fights like he does today. But after many failed attempts in making the ultimate evil overlord, Donald Trump eventually created the perfect combination of strength and evilness. Ohio Final Boss. He sent Ohio Final Boss down against Kevin and Floaty Goaty, and Kevin thought it would be just another easy little battle. He looked back at his friend, who was terrified out of his life. Kevin asked what was wrong, to which Floaty Goaty replied, "I had a vision. This creature is no small deal, Kevin. We must evacuate. I'm taking my 3 sons and all the other goats and going far away. I suggest you come along. Form a kingdom. You cannot defeat this beast, I'm telling you." Kevin tried anyway. He was strong, but he didn't know when to quit. He immediately charged at Ohio Final Boss, but was stopped as soon as he made contact with him. Kevin tried to bite him, but he was launched back a few hundred miles over to where Floaty Goaty was and began to run with him. His leg was injured, but that wasn't enough to hold him back. He kept running. They ran until they encountered a plane far away from Ohio Final Boss. Floaty Goaty built a kingdom and a town inside that kingdom. He named that town Goatshire. Kevin built a neighboring kingdom and settled there for the meantime. Whilst he was settling in his new kingdom, he met me, your narrator. "Wait, hold it right there. Who wrote this book?" asked Floaty Goaty, in a temple in the Rhea Kingdom, reading Kevin's backstory off of a sacred book. "It was me," replied Karen. "I wrote a biography about Kevin as a result of my sorrow after his death." Floaty Goaty asked, "Why did you never tell anyone?" To which Karen replied, "It has a spiritual connection with Kevin. I think it's been tied with some dark energy by Ohio Final Boss." Floaty Goaty nodded and continued reading. As soon as Kevin saw Karen, he was in love. The two would go on as lovers until Kevin's untimely death. Floaty Goaty secured his 3 sons and his house and consulted Kevin on what to do about Ohio Final Boss. They went out to defend their kingdom, and towards the outskirts of the plains they found Goofy at Kingdom. Ohio Final Boss was awaiting them atop Goofy at Tower. He immediately flew down and began to fight. Kevin and Floaty Goaty persevered throughout the entire battle, and Kevin delivered the final blow that would send Ohio Final Boss back to the multiverse. However, the aftershock of this attack was so strong that it knocked Kevin back, and he was paralyzed in his entire body. He ended up being in a coma for millions of years. Floaty Goaty, along with Karen, visited them every day. Floaty Goaty told him about his son's successes, Ohio Final Boss's occasional returns, and everything that happened while he was out. When he awoke, his doctor, Uncle Ben, was waiting for him. He asked the usual questions. "Where am I? What year was it?" When he was told everything he needed to know, he left with Uncle Ben. When he left the Prairie Dog Hospital, he saw Ohio Final Boss. He was fighting Floaty Goaty and his 3 sons. Kevin rushed over with Uncle Ben and began to fight back. He also noticed that Jimmu Bestat had 5 little goats watching him fight. A gray one, a brown one, a white one, a black one, and an orange one. Kevin had been gone so long that Floaty Goaty was a grandpa, not to mention promoted to the god of all goats. Just before Kevin could attack Ohio Final Boss, he was knocked back. Ohio Final Boss, clearly intimidated by Kevin, spewed out some dark energy before running away. Floaty Goaty told everyone to duck, but the dark energy wave went directly into the blood flow of the Ram King. He was immediately overtaken by evil. He attacked Jimmu Bestat, knocking him far away and killing him, and then and then followed Ohio Final Boss into the multiverse. Floaty Goaty was devastated. He lost 2 of his 3 sons. It was a miracle that Floaty Goaty and Jimmu Bestat's quintuplets survived. Floaty Goaty looked at his nieces and nephews and said to them, Pilgor, Jeeton, Mark, Midnight, and Alex, I want you to go into this portal to a small town called Goatville. That is going to be your new home for safety until I need you. There should be some tunnels that lead to Goat City Bay and some other places you could possibly go to. There's also a nice island nation called Santa Angora a few miles across some water. Come back when the time is right. Floaty Goaty grabbed a memory machine made by a group of aliens and removed any memory of Jimmu Bestat between Floaty Goaty, Kevin, and Floaty Goaty. To lower the sorrow of a loss, a few years later, Floaty Goaty had traveled to Goatville to check on the goats, but Pilgor was gone. He assumed that the Ram King had gone there and killed her, fearing her potential with Floaty Goaty. He was devastated, so much so that he sought out revenge against his brother, no matter what the cost. He came to Goofy Tower and met up with his best friend Hashi, who had also been one of the 8 hash browns that existed at the beginning of the universe. When he arrived there, he realized that Tyson Hill had the secrets to defeat Ohio Final Boss. But in order to find Tyson, he needs to find Phoenix. So he did. Hashi, who had also become good friends with Uncle Ben, brought Uncle Ben into battle with Hog Rider as Floaty Goaty was finding the Obanium to get to Phoenix. So long story short, they went into battle with the Ohio Final Boss, and halfway up the tower to get to him, Kevin was killed by the Ram King. Floaty Goaty, out of sheer grief, killed the Ram King instantly. After Kevin was killed, a funeral was held. And Karen, who was getting so tired of writing her own name, is going to start writing in first person. Really, Karen? Asked Floaty Goaty, annoyed by the grammatical error. What? I don't like talking as if I'm someone else. It's weird, replied Karen. Floaty Goaty kept reading. After everyone had left Kevin's funeral, I was about to close the casket when I saw some black smoke spirals coming towards his beak from the sky. I tried to blow them away, but it didn't work. Kevin's soul began to come out of his body and get filled with dark energy. So as to never come back living to Goofy Planet ever again. I was devastated, but confused as well. I installed surveillance cameras around the funeral home and inside. Some 10 years later, I saw a very beat-up Hashi come in and grab the beak of Kevin. I figured nothing of it, but now as I am writing this, I fear that the dark energy inside Kevin is concentrated in his beak and that Hashi could have the ownership of something very bad. I'm desperately hoping that the good in his heart can overcome the power of the dark energy. Floaty Goaty flipped to the last page, and it said, The End. Floaty Goaty was astonished by Kevin's full story, although he was there for most of it. But then he thought and said, But that still doesn't explain why there were humans at Goatville, if they went extinct from here, almost. He then looked behind him and realized that the quintuplets were gone. The gang walked outside the temple with the book and saw the goats standing at a portal leading into Goatville. It looked refurbished, almost completely polished and rebuilt. Floaty Goaty looked at the entire gang and smiled and stepped in. When they arrived, Hashi said, Dang, this place looks remastered.